Welcome to Her Liberation, Conversations with Ann Anderson. And my guest today is Miss Dahlia Knight. She's a brilliant young woman, lived in 3 countries, speaks 4 languages, co-founder of a digital marketing company. And what I love most about her is that she is an advocate for women's rights and injustices. Please welcome her today, Miss Dahlia Knight. Welcome to Her Liberation. I'm your host, Ann Anderson, and this show is for anyone who wants to improve your health, well-being, and have a better quality of life. Her Liberation provides tools and strategies and a safe, no-judgment space for healing to take place. My team and I will be bringing on guests who are experts in all areas of personal self-development and more to help you to shift where you need to in your lives and to meet your individual goals and needs. Again, welcome to Liberation, Conversations with Ann Anderson, starting right now. Hi, Miss Dahlia. So nice to have you here today. Thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you
on
for
the show.
having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. You look so beautiful. I love that outfit.
Thank you. Likewise.
Wow. So let's just get right into it and start with the first question that I have to ask you. So can you tell me about yourself, your family, your culture, and your upbringing?
Well, I was born in the country that is located between Europe and Asia.
Okay.
So I have both of the worlds, and this country is called Kazakhstan. I was raised in the family with 4 siblings, and I was the eldest one. So I was forced to be responsible and disciplined at very early age.
Of course.
Yeah, the country is very diverse. We have different people. It's been colonized at a certain point by Russians, and that's why we speak Russian. I myself personally speak 4 languages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. What 4 languages, may I ask?
It's Russian, Turkish, Kazakh, my native language, and of course English.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay.
My parents went through a lot, and they tried to protect me from all the craziness that was happening outside our household. But despite that, I was still sexually abused by my cousin repeatedly at the age of 6.
Wow.
That shaped my determination into moving forward and trying to work on myself.
Wow. So how long did that last? How long did it go on? How many years? Do you remember?
It's been for a couple years. It started around when I was 5, and it ended when my parents moved from the same city. And it would happen all the time whenever we meet them. We meet my cousin.
And you didn't say anything to anyone?
At the beginning, nobody believed me because he was just 3 years elder than me, and and this is one of the issues that is happening around the world. People do not think that if you're the same age group, it's happening only.
Right. Wow.
It's happening only by adults to kids, but the kids can bully or sexually abuse other kids too. Wow,
that's amazing. And so, what did that do to you emotionally and mentally? I mean, how did you cope?
Actually, I had a lot of trauma happening from that, and I had to shut down this because nobody believed me, and only thing that I was forced to do that I wanted to protect my siblings from these things happening to them. So that's why I was like a mother to them all the time, and making sure no matter what, they never left alone or unsupervised.
Wow. So that made you become a very protective person.
Yeah, very of my siblings, and I was aware that the world is not as nice as my parents are telling.
Right. Wow. Yeah. But did you say that you also shared this news with your parents, but they didn't believe you as well? I
was as a kid saying certain things that he's hurting me, but I was not able to actually explain, because the things that he was doing was it's very difficult to put into words.
Right, especially as a 5-year-old child.
Yeah, because I had no idea what it is. So yeah, and my parents started hearing me, listening to me when I was at age 30. Actually, I came to them with this concerns that I'm working on myself to actually heal myself. When I was in my 20s, when I was studying university, but I learned to go and seek for the help when I was in uni. Thanks God there was a counselor, and we talked through. So I went through counseling for a couple years. It helped me a lot on making sure that I'm healed.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm glad to hear, and glad that you are better and was able to get some counseling, at least to help you through that period of your life.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And what was it that inspired you to get the 3 degrees that you have?
Well, as I said, my parents went through a lot of things. First of the biggest, tremendous, actually, events that happened to them is the collapse of the whole country, the Soviet Union.
Okay.
So we basically didn't have food on the table. It was, even though people could barter, there was no currency for 3 years. Wow. So only way we could survive is to barter things. But because we were living in socialist country, people didn't have a lot of things to exchange. So we didn't have basic things like butter or milk was just not accessible.
Wow.
So the bread we could make ourselves, but the rest of the things was not there. So in my opinion, almost everyone was poor. Wow. So everyone in the country was struggling, and we were not only ones. So during this period, I remember very clearly that my dad told me that life can strip away everything from you, everything, literally, even your place you're living, the food you're eating. But one thing that nobody can take away from you is your knowledge and your skills. Okay. So, and this will help you to get back on the feet. And this stuck with me for a very long time, and still. And his words actually was encouraging me, motivating me to get as much knowledge as possible. I studied in Turkey, US, UK. My first degree was in poli-sci, and later on business. I did my master's in UK, and all of this, in my opinion, helped me to get a look of the woman around the world going through the same things, same emotions. Okay. And to see, and I can definitely say we have the same troubles around the world. It's not, it's very common. And as a fact or proof, I would say that we can look at how many female presidents we have around the world. Yes, that's, you don't need to go even into a household. You can tell that the world is right now predominantly ruled by men.
That is so true. Wow. And that's what inspired you to get those 3 degrees.
100%. I wanted to make sure I know as much as possible.
Okay. And have you been able to use the degrees that you've acquired with your skill set as an adult?
Definitely, it helped me to get a job, my first job, 100%. Okay. And to be, I'd say, stress-proof. In terms of when you know what you're doing, you're more confident. Right. And those degrees helped me to be more confident in my. In terms of, I knew things that I'm doing. I've been learning this, and just all that it took is just to put it in practice at my job.
Okay, awesome. So that helped you to pursue different types of goals and dreams and job opportunities because you knew you were educated, had the knowledge, and was qualified and the skill set to do those jobs. That's awesome.
Definitely.
Wow. And what led you to become the first CASA female country manager, and what does that mean?
So I worked for the company that had 40,000 employees around the world. They're providing schools abroad, still providing schools abroad for students around the world. And one thing, they've been actually in the education game, I would say, for a very long time. But when I was hired, I was the first female and first Kazakh country manager that was responsible for the whole country. I had not a lot of employees, but it was a big job in terms of I had to set an example to make sure this big Swiss company that hired me and gave me an opportunity would hire more minority women at this job. So I had to do this well, my job well, to make sure it's not only for me, but for all other women in the world.
That's amazing. So you want to make sure you were not the only.
Exactly. That was the main purpose.
Wow. So to your knowledge, were there any other females in this position since you?
After me, yes, they hired also a Kazakh female country manager. I was and still and now they have female country manager as well.
Wow.
So also minority from a minority background.
So how proud. You should be very proud.
I'm very, very proud. And it's thanks to, of course, to the company that acknowledged that there's a lot of women that was big potential. And because we're coming from a very humble background, most of us, not lots of things were not given for us from the start. We had to become survivors, and we made sure that everything we do impeccably.
Wow, it's about excellence.
Excellence, yeah.
Amen. That's amazing. How did you become the co-founder of a digital marketing company?
This is the this part of my life is called trying to find my path. I just got divorced from my first marriage, and I lost my confidence. I lost the skill to believe in myself and to motivate myself, because whenever I was applying for jobs, I was overqualified every way, because I had to come back from UK to my home country, wherever I was applying to everyone, the rejection reason was overqualified.
Wow.
So, which is very interesting reason, but I think it's something that led me to be, okay, I'm overqualified, then I have to do something about it. So my spiritual and life teacher, Master Olga Goman, she advised me to open my own company. I was already having 10 plus years experience in digital marketing, and I wanted to make sure I'm helping small businesses. And I focused my digital marketing skills mostly helping the female-owned small businesses. I opened it in Dallas, Texas. And of course, after some time, the company had succeeded with a number of clients, and I was successfully sold it to my partner.
Wow, that is amazing. Wow, what an amazing young woman.
Thank you.
I'm impressed.
It wasn't easy. When we look at the fact, you don't even need to look at the statistics right now. Most of those women are predominantly one race. Even though the companies claim that they have 50% of female, let's say, managers or in management positions, we're still not there.
Wow.
Today on Her Liberation, conversations with Ann Anderson, best-selling author, certified transformational life coach, TV producer, and TV talk show host. Over the next few seasons, myself and many other experts will be bringing you conversations around confidence, femininity, beauty, success, transformation, healthy living, self-love, abundance, fitness, happiness, joy, sisterhood, empowerment, and resilience. What is resilience? It's your bounce back muscle. It's that ineffable quality that allows some people to be knocked down by life and come back stronger than ever. Rather than letting failure or disappointment overcome them and drain their resolve, they find a way to rise from the ashes. If you love an epiphany as much as I do, then get ready for a half-hour chock full of them all season. I wanted to create a show where on Tuesdays we could have conversations that disrupt, that were thought-provoking, inspiring, and eye-opening. A show that would be nourishment for your very souls and minds. This is Her Liberation. Conversations with Ann Anderson, starting right now.
That is such an amazing story. So what was your motivation to get into the coding and cybersecurity?
Well, funny enough, as a lot of people for the past year were affected by COVID-19, and a lot of women actually, in total 800 billion dollars women lost in jobs because they had to either give up their jobs to become caregivers, or they lost their jobs due to COVID-19.
Right.
And I was one of them who was affected by the what's been happening, and I didn't want to stop. That's one of the things that one of the things that drives me. I wanted to learn something that would be that would make sure that my job will be more pandemic or pandemic proof. Yeah, of course. And right. I applied for the scholarship, and I got the scholarship to learn coding and deep dive into cybersecurity. Okay. Yeah, that's how it started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just because you wanted to make sure that you could still have some security, financial security for yourself and your family during this pandemic.
Exactly.
Awesome. Very resourceful. And how do you like it so far? I mean, how is it working out for you?
It's working out well. I'm working right now with a company that's been for 13 years, and they're actually, one of their products is providing software that would allow a lot of people to work remotely.
Okay.
And this was important for me, so that's something that I'm doing had to help people.
Right.
And this was one of the key factors that I applied for a job and I got it, and I'm happy to actually make sure that a lot of people know about this company.
Okay.
Yeah. And in general, I know for a fact that most of the women that lost their jobs, they were in a service industry, in hospitality. So they actually, 77% of the women back in 2020, there were women in the workforce. And most of the jobs that had to have a personal touch, personal service, were done by women, and predominantly by minority women. So I want to make sure that this is heard by more people, and actually what's been happening during COVID-19 is nothing new. It's just it just highlighted the issues that's been happening, but always been overlooked by a lot of people, companies. And of course, I'm told by a lot of people that a lot of companies also actually they claim that they hire managers, female managers, into very high position as a CEO, very rarely CTO, of course. But when we look at the fact, you don't even need to look at the statistics right now. Most of those women are predominantly one race. Even though the companies claim that they have 50% of female, let's say, managers or in management positions, we're still not there in terms of being diverse.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, wow, that is. So, what do you think is the solution? What do you believe is the solution for that, or you have an idea?
The solution, of course, is. As I said, that the tech companies. Why I went into the tech industry. It's more. It's any like recession or pandemic-proof industry that is the industry of the future, and especially AI taking over the world right now, and we need more women in tech companies, and not enough women in the tech industry is not the fault of the tech companies. I'm not blaming them. It starts from the household. It starts from the minute when a woman or when a father or mother decides to teach their daughters and sons into being more scientific, read scientific books, or not shape their reality, their future into being just housewives or more domesticated. Rather follow what they are looking for, what they want. And I can tell most of the kids are all in their devices, iPads, phones, and don't discourage it. Like, this is the future, and we will be surrounded by robots. We will be surrounded by the softwares that being used on everything, and we have to encourage, make it. If, let's say, my daughter is interested in gaming, I'm signing up her for tournaments, and I'm encouraging her to learn how to code that game, so that she will be able to have, even though she might choose something else in the future, but she would have the skills that she can always use, as my father said, that the skills that nobody can take away from you. This is one thing, is to make sure from day one that you're you're not reading to your daughters the tales about, you know, waiting for the Prince Charming, but reading about the rebel girls, reading about all the female leaders, all the female scientists that they achieved there, that changed the world. Even the Wi-Fi that we're right now using was created by a female. She was an actress. She was so smart. She was beautiful, smart, and because of thanks to her, we are using Wi-Fi nowadays. Okay. And there is the one thing that we have to keep on talking about to all the women around the world, to motivate them to go further and not to stop, and help them. A lot of women need help. I know that in terms of, it's easy to say when. A lot of people say it's easy to say when you're coming from, you know, already in society that, finances, or no, you don't have to. It's, we have so many examples that women leaders are leading and helping other women to come. That's what we have to have. We shouldn't just talk about it. We have to actually make sure that we hire those women that are trying to do that, are trying to acquire new skills or new knowledge, and I'm seeing that the companies are shifting towards that.
Awesome.
But they're not
doing it fast enough.
Doing it fast enough. Plus, they're still overlooking the diversity part.
Oh, okay.
This I want to keep on emphasizing it because this country was based on immigrants workforce, and we have to acknowledge that and make sure that the jobs that are now opening up are available for everyone equally.
All right, wow, this has been amazing, Dahlia, and I've learned so much. Thank you so much for coming and being my very first guest. You have been so wonderful, and I'm hoping too that maybe you can come back and we can finish this conversation, because that was a lot. And I would really like to see what you're going to do next. How are you continuing to work in the cybersecurity, as well as the work that you're doing with the domestic violence women. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed you, and come back on my show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.